Welcome back to the Jimi Priceless Show. This is part 8 of the Artist series. Hey yo, welcome back to the Jimi Priceless Show. Another part, another installment of the Artist series. We're on part 8. Thank you guys who have watched all the previous parts, dropping comments, engaging. I appreciate it. But let's get into this week's episode. So, on this week's episode, I want to delve into the topic or the theme of, something that I think a lot of artists and everyone, that are doing things online, and not even online, just anywhere. And that thing is doing your due diligence. So I just want to touch on that, and some moments where where I should have done more due diligence. So the first thing is, as any Cape Town artist, who's been around since SoundCloud was the main platform, would know about, artists buying the streams and shit. Now, this is how I got caught up in it by accident. So I uploaded this track for 2018. Get this email, yo, we love your music. We can promote it to more people, blah blah blah. And they were running some Christmas special, which was the main reason I did it. So it was like $2 or $3. I'm like, yeah, I could boom, do the thing. So I'm like, oh wait, I'm about to get new listeners, new fans. Nope. Turns out I got 700 instant plays from the Ukraine. So, as a first thing, if anyone mentions they can promote or they're doing marketing, and then they also mention like a guaranteed number of real followers, that's just fake. If not fake, it's not organic. How those work is basically 3 player stream farms, which is just rooms full of devices that are signed into various streaming platforms. So, let's say you now want song X promoted. They will just put song X on repeat on a whole bunch of devices, which is why usually all your plays will be from one specific place. And then another thing that also happens is people have this earn crypto by watching YouTube or whatever. We watch 20 YouTube videos to make 2 cents. So they do the same with music links where, if you play a song for 30 seconds, you earn 0 point something cents. So that's another way how, these people get your plays on song X. So yeah, so that happened to me. When I saw this, why 700 Ukrainians listening to my music, I was like, nah, something's fishy. So then I actually checked out their site and I saw I was like, you pay so much for so many streams, you pay so much for more streams. I was like, yeah, fuck this shit. So then I deleted the song and then I re-uploaded it again and got my usual, I don't know, between 5 to 10 plays at the time. Then it happened again recently, actually. Similar vibe, but they were they do artist interviews. So, put in your details and they have this preset template of questions. And I like interviews. I like people asking me shit about myself. So I answered it, boom. But then basically, the article is basically just a copy and paste of those questions with the answers underneath. So it's there's no write-up or anything added. So I was like, ugh. But fuck it. But then I received a mail a few days later saying, yo, shout out for using the 3-day trial. Now 3-day trial. So then I went to the song that I put in the submission form for this interview. Then I saw that shit got 1,500 plays. Once again, from actually from the States, but it was all one city. So I was like, oh fuck, I fell for the shit again. And then I couldn't delete the song because, chronologically, if I re-upload it, it's going to be out of sync because it's an older song. So yeah, so that's why, I didn't buy plays on purpose, people. I didn't read the fine. I didn't do my due diligence. So that's the first thing I've experienced personally. Then another thing is this whole thing of, especially with local artists, own your masters, independence. Now the thing is, what is the use of owning something that's worth nothing? Like Lupe Fiasco, I'm a big Lupe, my favorite rapper, maybe not musically, I don't pump his albums the most, but just rapping, favorite rapper of all time. Never been motivated and demotivated by rap as much as I have been by Lupe Fiasco, because I'll hear something by him, be like, damn, it's so motivated, I want to get to his level. And then I would hear something else he did, and I'm like, damn it, this is so demotivating because I'll never get to this level. But anyway, back in the day, I had some label beef, releasing his Lasers album, and then, you know, Leo Cohen was like kind of the head or in some senior position at the time. And he was like telling the story of how I was like, yo, I want my masters. And then Leo Cohen responded by saying, so what? So you can walk around with him in a suitcase. And at the time, I didn't really get it. But, you know, we went on further to explain what he meant is these labels and these, you know, these entities, they have connections with certain people to where your album or your song has almost guaranteed value, you know, just based on their relationships. You know, they're gonna like play your song on a station or do these things for you. Whereas independent artist, you don't really. So, and I always say, would you guys really have 100% of whatever the outcomes is of 1,000 streams, or would you take 30% of someone who's gonna get you 20,000 streams? And I always get pushed back, you know, people are always like, no, you gotta be independent, this is your hard work and whatever. But as someone speaking from experience, those same people telling you like, no, stay independent, blah, blah, blah. Like when you're down and out, all they're gonna tell you is keep grinding. You know, they're not gonna reach out to help you or nothing like that. For the most part, they're just spectators to your journey, you know. So, like I said, due diligence. And the easy way to figure out, you know, these things is, you know, like with a lot of distribution services, they do give analytics, you know, somewhat in depth. So you do know more or less how much you make from an average release, just based off the amount of streams you get on average per song. So let's say you make 200 rand of a song, which is very likely. And someone's like, yo, I want to buy your whole song and the mastering and the publishing and shit for like, I don't know, like 2 grand. Now, obviously, they're not going to come to you with that offer if they don't think they're going to make more than 2 grand. But at the same time, you're never going to make 2 grand just based off, you know, how things have been for you, you know. Unless, you know, suddenly blow up and people start playing your catalog. But for the most part, you ain't making that 2K, my guy. So, in that case, you know, just like, I wouldn't knock you for doing it. For being like, oh yeah, I sold my songs publishing to whoever. Because, you know, like I said, we got bills to pay out here. And, you know, all these people giving their comments and shit, they spectators, they have nothing invested in you, whether you fail or succeed. They don't got shit to do with them. They just want to give their opinion and feel like they are, you know, because that makes them feel better. Like, I motivated this artist today to stay independent and be broke. You know, like, it's due diligence. So yeah, you know, but like I say, I'm not saying sell off your catalog. What I'm saying is do the math, run the numbers. And then see if it's worth it. And then once again, due diligence, you know, check your contract, make sure you're going to be good, you know, even though you're giving up that back end or whatever. Because, you know, if you're like in the position where most local artists are, I could own your masters and I could make 0 rand with it easily. Because, you know, it's not about the music, you know, it's about all this other hoo-ha, you know, it's about, it's the triumph of spectacle. There's a book called The Empire of Illusion. The Triumph of Spectacle and the Fall of Literacy. And, you know, that's where we're living. It's the triumph of spectacle. Nobody cares how good you rap. It's what spectacle do you bring with it. And, you know, you just need to realize that everything happens and goes as part of a system. You know, so we're told that, you know, oh, radio stations, you can just submit, you know, and make sure you've registered and you do all these things. And then at the same time, you see people just, you know, doing like Facebook posts like, yo, plug your song with us, we'll get you radio play for like whatever K. And it's like, oh, so, you know, we're told to believe that it's a fair game and everyone can just submit music, but certain people can charge money and then guarantee you placement and advertise that as a service, you know, it's called plugging, you know, the plug. So everything happens part of a system, you know. Due diligence, very important. I can't stress that enough. So even another example, you know, how things aren't just as they are for no reason. So actually this morning received a SoundCloud inbox Thus, it's kind of like a platform, I guess, like a website and a YouTube channel where they feature rappers and shit. They're like, yo, checked out your music, you like your presence on the songs, think you should submit to the freestyle thingy video. First of all, if you listen to my music, why should I still have to submit? Like, did you not like listen? Anyway, so I go to the form, see what it's about. So it's the usual, put in your name, a link to your music, email, and then also 5 references to like vouch for you, because apparently they checked out your music, they felt that they had presence, but I don't know, they still need 5 other people to agree with him. But then I'm like, okay, cool. But then you have to give these people's phone numbers and email addresses. I'm like, well, that's why would I give out these people's like personal information? But then once again, you got to take that step back. Things are not always as they seem, because that is just the easy way, to get email addresses and to build a mailing list. And especially, okay, I don't know if you guys have seen from the artists that you follow, but a lot of artists, when they release songs, they will like put their text number there and be like, yo, text me and I'll send you a snippet, and even DistroKid has a virtual text line, at least for people in the States, so that's probably why they would want the phone numbers, or add you to some WhatsApp promo group without your consent and just spam you. Not that it's spam, like it's obviously, to promote their business, but if I didn't ask for it, it's spam. So, I just, thinking a bit from a different angle, and just not taking things at face value and doing your due diligence, So shout out to them though. That's very smart, of building your contact list and your mailing list. Because imagine like 100 rappers like, submit for that shit. That's like 500, based on 5 references per rapper. Like 500 people, email addresses and phone numbers they have to, market whatever they want to. But yeah, that's just another example, of things working as part of a bigger system. And it's always important to be mindful of that. And like I said, do your due diligence, don't get caught out here in these streets. But thank you guys for watching. I'll be back next week with episode 9. I'm out.